When we talk about racing games, we usually imagine dirt tracks, hairpin turns, and maybe some treacherous weather conditions. XRC, Exo Rally Championship, takes those expectations and straps a rocket booster to them and sends them hurtling across this distant world filled with unpredictable terrain and dangerous hazards. It's a simulation rally experience that demands not only skill behind the wheel, but also careful resource management and strategic planning. It is an interstellar fusion of motorsport and survival, and I've been having a blast playing the demo that reminds me of parts Star Wars Pod Racer, Tribes Ascend, and a plethora of other innovative games. At its core, the game revolves around rally mode, where you'll progress through multiple stages, each one pushing your vehicle and your nerves to the limit. There are actually three difficulty settings catering to everyone, from the curious newcomer like me to the hardened sim veteran. But choosing a difficulty is just the first step. You'll actually have to juggle resources like fuel, tires, and the integrity of your vehicle's components across several consecutive events. Imagine a traditional rally, then throwing in a swirling mess of mechanical failures, shifting terrain conditions, and a fuel tank that actually affects the handling as it empties. Yes, that's right. The simulation is so good that as you burn through fuel, your car's weight distribution changes and alters how it handles. It's a system that forces you to think long term, to plan not just for the next turn, but the next stage, and the depth extends right into the garage. The tuning options are frankly astounding. Every nuance of your ride can be adjusted, from optimizing your suspension for rugged, rocky ground to selecting the right tire material, and there's currently 4 types, each suited to a different terrain. You can even calibrate how much fuel you want to carry because every decision matters. It's the kind of tuning system that'll have gearheads drooling over the details. But there's more than just mechanical adjustments. You can even optimize for particular fuel percentage, ensuring your car handles best at the fuel load you expect to maintain. This kind of makes each run feels like a puzzle, encouraging experimentation and rewarding players who invest the time to understand how each component interacts with other components. XRC isn't shy about throwing wrenches into your plans, sometimes even literally. Everything can and will break. Take a jump at the wrong angle and say goodbye to your front suspension for the next 2 races. Fail to dodge a rogue meteor and watch in horror as it smashes into your thrusters. Even your third-person camera can go offline, forcing you into a cockpit view until you can fix it. Yet these penalties never feel cheap. Instead, they serve as attention-building moments that challenge you to adapt. The game's penalty mechanics actually strike a delicate balance. You feel the impacts of your mistakes, but you never feel completely helpless. There's always a way to claw back into the race, to improvise and overcome, and that makes your eventual victories incredibly satisfying. Before each rally, you get a 3-minute window with a drone to scout the course. Initially, 3 minutes might seem too short, but once you understand the mechanics, it's a generous time slot to get the lay of the land. You'll pick out a safe route, note obstacles, identify strategic spots to manage your resources. This pre-race planning transforms each stage into a tactical operation. It's not just about driving fast. It's about reading the terrain, foreseeing trouble, and planning how to migrate the risks before you're hurtling into them at breakneck speeds. If you need a break from the high-stakes pressure, the game also offers free roam and training modes. Here you can experiment with the handling, try out new setups, or get acquainted with those alien environments without the clock ticking. For me, it was invaluable space to learn the basics before diving headfirst into the chaos of rally mode. Veteran players, on the other hand, can use free mode as a way to test for more advanced strategies, such as figuring out how much fuel to handle, or which tires handle best on the dusty craters. To keep things fresh, XRC also introduces daily stages. Each day might present a normal run, a grueling Ironman run, or even a no booster scenario. These variations test your versatility, daring you to adapt to new constraints. They give you a reason to return day after day, honing your skills, refining your approach, and pushing you to new heights. It's a smart way to keep the community engaged, and I really enjoyed what I got to see and the modes that I tried out today here. A quick note on the controls. I would say this game is best played with a gamepad. The level of analog precision makes all the difference, especially as you're feathering the throttle or balancing your car's angle mid-jump. I did attempt to play with a keyboard, but I did not have a numpad, so I was not able to play. If you have your controller handy, you'll have a smoother, more responsive experience right out of the gate. And I must say, after spending time with the demo, I'm struck by how well the mechanics mesh together. From plotting your route to fine-tuning your car and managing your limited resources, every element feels essential and interconnected. It's not often that a sim racer manages to cram so much complexity under the hood and still remain fun and accessible. Even when things go wrong, and they frequently will, you never feel stuck. Instead, it's an invitation to learn, to adapt, and to try again. Within an hour, I started to get the hang of the thrusters and the resource management, but I knew I was only scratching the surface of what was possible. That sense of depth, of room of growth, it really hints at a game with nearly limitless replayability. I'm personally not even a big fan of racing games. As someone that used to try every demo from PlayStation Magazine, I gave it a shot because of the demo, and I was blown away by it. If you're a fan of hardcore simulators, of challenging racing games, or even enjoy just mechanical complexity of flight sims, where systems can fail at any moment, then XRC Exo Rally Championship deserves a spot on your radar. If it lands at around $40 or less, it's an easy buy in my book. It's a game that rewards careful planning, skillful driving, and fearless adaptation in the face of adversity. With the demo already available, you can test the waters, or should I say craters, before you can commit. And believe me, if you ever wanted a rally game that's equal parts strategy, survival, and white-knuckle racing, then prepare to rev your engines on some truly alien turf.